Hello, my name is Christine Price. I've got a doctorate in natural medicine and a master's in psychology, and together those two things have taken me into a field of what I would call integrative mental health. So, being able to bring together the best of the Western approach, and in this case, the psychology degree I have emphasized research. I love being able to measure and see true change. I was introduced to the idea of levels through a very specific experience that I'll share in the VIP event. VIP, you could consider, stands for vitally important for progression. So that's really what these levels are about. It's a progression model that changed the whole paradigm of how I saw my life, my purpose, and others. So in this model, you'll be learning about how it can impact all 5 areas of your life. Through the first part is to get your frequency assessment. Once you know where you're at in these 5 life areas, you can start to look at the most important things that will allow you to up level. We talk about what's called lowest common denominators. So in math, that's the number that sits below, right? So that's in our lives, in our frequency model, that's the numbers that sit below, that sit in the lower ranges of our well-being. And they can anchor or pull us down into old patterns or lower our frequency, even though we're striving. I use the analogy of a rock climber. We're striving so hard to pull ourselves up, but if our legs aren't moving, if our feet are in lock holds, we're not going to get anywhere. Sometimes we feel like we're running like a hamster on a wheel. And that can be explained by these lowest common denominators that are keeping us stuck. So one of the things we'll be doing in this VIP event is supporting you to see where you're stuck and to understand some quantum principles that allow for a creative shift, a quantum shift to the next level. We're going to talk about calibration levels from 100 to 500. There's more, and we'll at least touch on the higher levels beyond this. But we're going to look at how these are actually correlated with the map that we embody. So we actually embody a frequency map. And we'll talk about that. And that word vital is a key word. And understanding it actually has to do with the vital body. So we're going to see how there isn't really a wrong frequency. There are just different levels and purposes for each of these in our lives. Kind of like I work with a 7 frequency model, kind of like the 7 notes on a keyboard or the piano. We've got A through G, and every one of them has an important sound. They're just different. It's also like the 7 colors of the rainbow. Red has just as much importance as purple, but they're on opposite sides of the spectrum. So we're going to also talk about there are 3 awakenings, and the 3 awakenings are going to be built up into books or experiences like this, but they're all so key and important to understanding our own life process and that of others. I'm excited to see you get your own personalized score and a copy of the book. The sooner you register, the more you get in regards to both of those. A physical copy versus an e-copy, and our scoring versus your own scoring, for example. Plus, you'll get digital content that you can come back to later. And there's a lovely library that'll open up for you once you register, and we'll start putting information and things there that you can use right away to support your frequency shifts. The awakening process isn't so much just spiritual, it is like this awakening of energy centers. So what's interesting is that we are the map to our own progression. Our own energy centers are intertwined with these frequency levels. And I don't know of anyone else who explains it that way, but it's really interesting to correlate the two. One of the most basic is the 400 frequency is also correlated with the heart chakra. So as we start to operate from internal heart level motivation, the behavioral approach isn't as high a frequency. So we can be struggling with behaviors that we don't change over time, but once it becomes an internalized process, it can just be instant. Like there can be a change in overnight change from how we used to operate to the new operating system. It's kind of interesting to think about. It's almost like we're creating these new, like up-leveling is upgrading to these new operating systems. And as you understand each of these different levels, you'll see how you could start moving into the operating system in the different 5 areas. So the first step will be to fill out your frequency assessment to find out where you're at. If we get those in enough time, about 7 days before the event, we have time to be able to get that back to you in a graphed format. Otherwise, you've got a self-scoring option. And if you also register in enough time, we can get you a copy of the physical book. A lot of people like a physical copy of the book. And if not, it is available as an ebook. So during the VIP event, I'll be walking through these different processes. You'll have the opportunity to get down and really do some work. I'm all about personal transformation. Isn't one of those things that you just take a pill, obviously. And working in mental health, the integrative approach does involve more self-awareness, and that's huge. That is more of like a 500 frequency concept, to be able to move into the self-awareness that isn't judgment-based and that is love-based. And so that's where it's kind of the next level. So I look forward to working with you. I hope that you will find answers that you're looking for, whether that's to create more peace in your mind, more motivation, more of a sense of purpose, reconnect to your loved ones or to those that you're not in a loving relationship with. Sometimes we have a relationship in our lives that we don't understand why that's there. Being able to use some of these principles allows you to see the purpose of conflict or of opportunity. Triggering the ego is one of the things we talk about quite a bit as we go into these higher frequencies, and being able to surpass that ego paradigm it's really so empowering. So whatever it is you're looking for, I invite you to find it in the way that works for you. And if that involves joining us for a live interactive experience, I look forward to seeing you there. Wherever you're at in your journey, I look forward to working with you so that you'll learn more about what's next and about the purpose of where you're at and how you can support others. I enjoy training Love Self facilitators and EFT practitioners, and some of you may even be ready for that step in your life, which will be fun because that involves a whole nother level of frequencies and discussions. Wherever you're at, please join me. It's a we are creating such an amazing like-minded community of emotionally intelligent meditators. Meditation is one of those higher frequency tools. I love the topic of meditation, and you'll be hearing a lot about that. So if you're also exploring meditation, wanting to learn more about it, this is a great place for you.